Here's what's happening now. A little bit of a break from the rain as one moves to the north, but we've got another round coming. Karen.
Plus, a deadly bomb blast rattles Russia. What President Vladimir Putin is saying about this tragedy. Paula.
Another very important tool in protecting children, and we're talking about minimizing trauma with a child who has suffered some of the worst possible trauma. We're talking about child sexual abuse.
In paying tribute, just in time for opening day, Comerica Park honors the late Mike Ilitch.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody. Take a look at the radar and you see the rain is moving in. So Ben is here tracking the latest trouble. Ben.
That's right, Karen. We've got some rain moving out, but we're going to get a little bit of a break before that next round starts moving right back in. And you can see across the area right now, generally dry conditions, as the rain we were seeing earlier in the day is pretty much hanging out in our north zone. So it's going to be about sunset before that next push comes in here. There's a chance could see a rumble or hear a rumble of thunder with that, but I think most of it will be in the form of rain. Temperatures are going to remain relatively steady, may dip a little bit here at 8 o'clock and then rise just a little bit towards midnight. In fact, our highest temperatures tomorrow are going to be coming in the morning. We'll look at the rest of your week. We'll look at opening day here in Detroit and also talk about that Tigers game in Chicago, which does not look good tonight. More on that in your 4-zone forecast coming up. Karen.
2 Good Samaritans are hospitalized after trying to save victims from a car crash. That crash occurred Sunday when a Jeep carrying 6 teens rolled over on I-96 near Fullerton. Police said 47-year-old Cynthia Ray, a doctor at Henry Ford Hospital, saw the crash. So did Sean English, a U of D Jesuit student. Both rushed to help but were injured and are now in critical condition.
I said, Sean, this is going to hurt a lot, but this is going to be for your benefit. And he wasn't paying. It does hurt to put him on, but it's the best thing for you because it will save your life.
From what I understand, there was a high likelihood he could have bled out.
That's what everyone's been saying.
Now, I was able to track down State Trooper Patrick Arena. He saved Sean English's life by using a tourniquet. You'll be able to hear more from that trooper on his rescue of that Good Samaritan tonight at 5 o'clock. Meantime, an investigation into a deadly shooting is underway right now on Detroit's east side. That's where police said a man went to a home on Russell Street in the area of I-75 in Nevada earlier today and then found his cousin dead. Police were called and they determined the victim had been shot to death. No other information was shared. We'll bring you more details as the information becomes available. A clerk from the now closed Victory Inn Motel appeared in court today amid charges of helping run a drug and prostitution ring. Jeanette Tofflick is one of 6 people charged in the motel's shutdown. She's charged with sex trafficking conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, conspiracy to distribute a controlled substance, and maintaining a drug-involved building. Today, she was in court for her arraignment, where she pled not guilty. First at 4, we're on top of stories making headlines all around the world. Our big story, as Local 4 reviews the world at 4, is a deadly bomb blast. It happened in a subway in St. Petersburg, Russia. Kimberly Gills following the very latest from our newsroom and joins us now with what exactly happened here. Kim.
Yeah, Karen, the latest reports out of St. Petersburg tell us 10 people were killed and 40 or more injured. It was about 2:30 in the afternoon when an explosion occurred on a subway train as it moved between 2 stations. Now, the subway driver continued to the next station, and that action might have saved lives because it allowed the injured people to be evacuated from the subway. The explosion tore a hole through a subway car, and the St. Petersburg subway system was immediately shut down. Russia's prime minister has called the blast an act of terrorism. However, Russian President Vladimir Putin did not share that same reaction. Putin was in St. Petersburg meeting with political leaders, and he focused his concerns on the victims.
I would like, at the beginning of our meeting, to express my condolences and regrets to relatives of those who died and suffered.
Now, shortly after the blast, police found what they described as another explosive device at another subway station. The device, rigged with shrapnel, was defused. Now, Russian news reports say a security camera may have recorded an individual who might have left the explosive device in a bag. St. Petersburg is Russia's 2nd largest city. Its subway system carries about 2 million riders a day, so fortunately not more were hurt or killed. Karen, let's go back to you.
All right, thank you, Kim. The Senate could be heading towards a nuclear showdown over President Trump's Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch. Today, Senate Democrats got the 41 votes needed to filibuster Gorsuch, but Senate Republicans vow to confirm him as a new justice anyway. But if the Democrats succeed in blocking Gorsuch, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell could issue a rule change known as the nuclear option, ending Senate debate with a simple majority vote. President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner flew to Iraq today for a first-hand look at the battle against ISIS. It's Kushner's first trip to Iraq. His visit comes at a critical time as President Trump examines ways to push a U.S.-led coalition campaign. U.S. and Iraqi officials say the campaign has so far been largely successful in uprooting ISIS militants in Iraq and Syria. President Trump is not holding back regarding North Korea, saying something has to be done when asked about the country's use of nuclear weapons. Countries across the world are starting to get worried as North Korea continues building its nuclear missile program. Trump's comments follow Defense Secretary James Mattis saying the country has to be stopped, and Secretary of State Rex Tillerson saying military action is on the table. We'll be learning more about that situation tonight as Lester Holt will be reporting live from South Korea, where he'll be getting an inside look at the U.S. military center in the Korean Peninsula. Meantime, in Colombia, more than 200 people are dead and hundreds more missing after torrential rain caused some massive mudslides all across the country. The rain started Friday night, causing 3 rivers in southwest Colombia to flood. The flooding caused mudslides, killing at least 254 people and injuring 203 more. At this time, crews are still searching for more than 200 missing people. Colombia's president has declared a state of emergency. Haven has a major service expansion coming. They will be changing the way they handle sexual assault cases for children under the age of 12. The organization has helped domestic violence and sexual assault victims for nearly 40 years. Paula Tutman joins us now live from Pontiac. And Paula, how this expansion revolutionary for Oakland County residents is really making a difference.
Yeah, it really is going to make a difference, Karen. So I just want you to take a look at this. So this is one of those kits. It's commonly known as a rape kit, but it was really a missing link for children under 12 in Oakland County. If a child was sexually assaulted, they might go to an emergency room, but they wouldn't necessarily have evidence gathered in a strategic, comprehensive, systematic, consistent, and child-centric manner. But Haven changes that right now. At Haven, it's the hard to talk about unspeakable things that happen to people of all ages that are being dealt with: domestic violence, sexual abuse. But for the most vulnerable, children, more tools are being expanded.
Hello?
Now Oakland County finally has a specific place for a child under the age of 12 to be examined for sexual assault. Just like adults, those first 120 hours are critical. Just like an adult, forensic evidence must be gathered to put a culprit away. But children are not adults. Nurses have been specially trained to talk to children, to minimize trauma while gathering evidence.
So you can say to things to them like, let's get on all fours and pretend you're a mad cat. Let's have you roll over like a little puppy dog that wants his back scratched.
By launching the SAFE, Therapeutic Assault Response Team, acronym START, pediatric examinations can be performed to gather maximum evidence with minimal added trauma.
Well, this is the sexual assault kit, and it can be used for the children as well as for an adult.
But it wasn't in Oakland County.
In Oakland County, it wasn't being used by children under the age of 12 in most cases. I think because there was a lot of concern about would it be collected correctly. There are different techniques that you use to examine the child.
Care House, a 12-minute drive away, still handles the forensic interview, two-way glass so the child has fewer strangers surrounding them, hidden camera, toys, crayons, play. Here they are the experts in understanding why children cannot be treated like adults in cases of sexual assault and abuse.
We get down on their level, we speak in words, that children can understand. It's developmentally sensitive, it's on their level, it's in a way to make them feel comfortable using language that they understand.
Since Haven's new START program, SOFT, launched in October, they've already examined 11 children, exceeding their expectations of the need for child-centric pediatric examination procedures. And you know what, Karen, those numbers are incredible because they really thought that they would get maybe 25 in a year. They've already seen 11 since opening their doors in October. Again, that was a soft launch. They chose to actually let the public know that they are open for business. Unfortunately, but it's needed, open for business through Local 4 today. Listen, here's the thing. This is what's so incredible, Karen. Macomb County has a child-centric program. Wayne County has a child-centric program. Oakland County was the only in the Tri-County area that didn't have one until Haven got this started. You do need a police referral or a police report, but they are open 24/7 and they are specially trained to handle children, particularly when it comes to these rape kits. And that's the key.
Such a heartbreaking story, but still a very important expansion needed in our community. Thank you, Paula. Still to come on First at 4. Hidden Gems, the best city in Michigan to drink beer. It just might surprise you. And experts on exercise. How much exercise should you really be getting? And tracking trouble. Severe storms pummel the South, where they hit, and are more storms expected?
The Kidnap coming up all new on Local 4 News at 5 and 6.
An adorable 4-month-old baby taken way too short, allegedly by her father, who's accused of beating her inside of this home.
This is disturbing, seriously disturbing.
More about Naomi Dunmeyer and her father, Brandon Dunmeyer, who is now facing charges, first-degree murder charges, for her death.
In good health, protecting babies from the highly contagious and potentially deadly whooping cough. There is a simple thing every expecting mother can do, but may not be aware.
That's exactly it, Karen. You know, whooping cough is caused by pertussis, which we have seen a local increase in the recent several months. Now, the current recommendation is for all pregnant women to receive a booster vaccine during pregnancy, preferably between their 27th and 36th weeks. Well, now a new study verifies the vaccine was over 90% effective during an infant's first 2 months of life. That's the critical period before babies get their first shot. And it was 69% effective during a child's first year. Remember, pertussis is most deadly to neonates and infants, so that's when we want to catch it.
And another story you're following, exercise. I think everybody wonders exactly, is there that special number we're supposed to hit in terms of number of minutes or hours a week?
Well, yeah, that special number is about 150 hours per week, broken up
150
ideally.
minutes.
150 minutes.
Okay,
Thank you, yes.
thank goodness.
Right. A billion hours. I'm sorry, 150 minutes, yes.
I gotta
broken up into 5 30-minute sessions.
Okay, I can do that.
ideally.
I can do
And
that.
That's to get the most health benefit out of the exercise. But it's moderate intensity exercise, and that means you can still hold a conversation while you're doing the activity, and that's like brisk walking, for example. Now, not everyone has the time for 5 workouts a week, though, so there's an alternative to cram all 150 minutes into the weekend, and that does seem to have the same benefit. You just need to really watch out for overuse injuries. Now, finally, though, you can opt for high-intensity workouts. That's the kind of exercise that leaves you huffing and puffing and can really make conversation difficult. And high-intensity interval training can reduce the amount of time that you have to exercise by about half. So it's good bang for your buck. But if you're going to do high intensity, you need to check with your doctor because it does put a significant strain on your cardiovascular system. So if you're over 40, you don't exercise a lot, check with your doctor first. Don't just start it up.
Sure. But if you're going to keep just basic, do 5 times 30 minutes.
Right. Moderate intensity, you can probably just start doing that right away. Don't even have to talk to me about that.
Very good. Thank you, Doc. Appreciate it. Ben's back with a look at some fierce weather that's impacted the southern United States, and we're taking a look at that situation there because it's very, very serious.
Yeah, right now at least 4 people confirmed dead after thunderstorms and tornadoes tore across the South this weekend. In Mississippi, 1 woman was killed while making a 911 call. Another lost her life when a tree fell on her house. And in Louisiana, a 38-year-old mother and her daughter died when a tornado took their mobile home right off of its foundation. Across the South, more than 40,000 homes are still without power. Luckily, the worst of those storms have moved a little bit further to the east.
And are we worried if any of those storms are coming our way?
Well, no, it doesn't look like it. We're going to get plenty of rain, but I don't think we're going to have to deal with any of those thunderstorms. In fact, right now you see the severe risk is out around parts of South Carolina from Savannah to Charleston. In fact, Augusta, Georgia, where they're going to be playing the Masters later this week, still under a tornado watch down there. There's a marginal risk of severe weather across the Ohio Valley, but that stops at central Indiana. So we're really not worried about any sort of rough stuff here, just a little bit more in the way of wet weather once we get into the nighttime hours. You can see out here to the west, plenty of rain heading towards Chicago, Tigers are supposed to get started at 4:10 there. Does not look like that's going to happen, so they're going to be delayed. And even though we don't have a lot of rain just on our back doorstep, so to speak, we will see those showers develop. In fact, by about 6, 7 o'clock tonight, we should start seeing that rain push back into our south zone. Temperatures have now crossed the 50-degree mark, at least in parts of the area. Metro's at 51, 50 at City Airport Monroe, our warmest spot right now at 54 degrees. So that band of rain that we watched move through the area, now it's just into our north zone, continuing to move to the north. And then there's that rain developing as we get closer to about 7 o'clock tonight. The big push happens after sunset as that low gets closer to us. So between about 8 and midnight, that's when we're expecting most of this rain to fall. And it will start clearing the area, at least from Detroit south by midnight, still lingering into our north zone for a few hours after midnight. There's just not a whole lot left as we get into Tuesday. Not that anybody's going to be broken up about that, but we are going to hold on to the clouds, and at least for chances of sprinkles. Plus, the wind's going to start picking up tomorrow, so it's going to be a little bit brisk as we head into the afternoon especially. Temperatures tonight will be at 52. We'll call that a low temperature because those numbers actually rising or holding steady in some locations as we get to the nighttime hours. Again, scattered showers after midnight. That big push of rain is going to be between 8 and midnight. Here are the high temperatures tomorrow. And notice this is going to be coming early. Mid-50s here in our north zone is what we're looking at. South zone high temperatures will be pretty much the same here in the mid-50s. Slightly cooler in our west zone. Generally about 54, 55 is what we're expecting there. And in our north zone, high temperatures anywhere between about 52 and 56. And then temperatures start to fall as we get into the second half of the day. But the second half of the week looking a lot better, at least once we get into the weekend. Friday, opening day here for the Tigers. Close call as that rain that exits Thursday is going to be just about at the Detroit River for much of Friday. So we'll keep an eye on that as Friday approaches, Karen.
All right, thank you, Ben. Still to come, honoring an icon. Just in time for opening day, Comerica Park honors the late Mike Ilitch. And up next, pushing for progress, a new report released just in time for Equal Pay Day sheds light on some troubling statistics. Time now for a look at today's top trending stories. Tomorrow is Equal Pay Day, and a new analysis just out is revealing the size of Michigan's gender pay gap and the toll that it takes on women and their families. The analysis finds women in Michigan who work full-time are paid 74 cents to every dollar paid to men. That amounts to a yearly gap of nearly $13,000 and a combined $23 billion loss in wages for women every year. Women head over 400,000 households in our state. 33% live in poverty. The Detroit Tigers are honoring late owner Mike Ilitch as they gear up for opening day. As you take a look at Comerica Park, you can see the aerial footage of the Tigers paying tribute to Ilitch by cutting a giant Mr. I right there in the middle of your screen. You see it? It's at Comerica's Park outfield grass. Ilitch passed away back in February. He was 87 years old. His son Chris is now at the helm of the family business, including Little Caesars Pizza, the Tigers, and Detroit Red Wings. And don't forget, opening day is this Friday, and the Local 4 News Today gang will be going live from Comerica Park starting at 4:30 in the morning. Hope they wear their jackets. It's going to be cold. National Beer Day is this Friday, and we know the best city in Michigan to celebrate. A data collecting company ranked the top 10 best hidden gems. Making top 5 on that list, Niles Benton Harbor, right here in Michigan. Number 4, Fort Collins in Colorado. Higher on the list, Asheville in North Carolina, and second place, Boulder, Colorado. Topping the list as the best hidden gem for beer, Bend, Oregon. Still to come, cute companions. You could say there was a puppy party at a New Jersey airport. Why dozens of puppies were traveling. Next.
Make your text.
Finally, first at 4, passengers on 4 legs were seen traveling through New Jersey's Liberty International Airport.
Saturday, 200 puppies. They went through the airport just like anybody on 2 legs would. They went through baggage areas, security checks, gates, and the boarding process. The dogs are actually part of a Seeing Eye program. Volunteers who accompanied them said on their trip, the traveling was actually a training effort to help the dogs become future Seeing Eye dogs.
That would have been kind of fun to see. You know how you already get tense sometimes when you're traveling? You see a whole line of puppies come on in?
That would just sort of make you feel a lot less stressed.
Calm you down. Well, thank you so much for joining us for First at 4. We are back in a half hour with Local 4 News at 5. Inside Edition is next.